Heraclitus, one of the great sages of ancient Greece, once said, "There is only one way to become wise, and that is to direct one's attention toward one's own intellect, the guide to all other things." Welcome to the Daily Stoic, a place that brings you inner peace, unlocking your hidden strength, and enhancing your self-worth every day. There are moments in life when we pause, look back, and ask ourselves, why did I act that way? It could be a wrong decision at work, a hurtful comment, or an inconsiderate action leading to unwanted consequences. We berate ourselves, tormenting ourselves with thoughts like, what was I thinking? Why did I act so thoughtlessly? Am I unwise? Am I lacking in intelligence? But we cannot change the past, and regret only adds to the burden on our minds. Fortunately, for those still struggling with inner turmoil, solace comes from the light of Stoicism, as the teachings of philosophers serve as a guiding torch for the soul. The wisdom embedded in Stoic teachings helps you embrace pain, soothe injuries, and journey toward a peaceful inner illumination. Before we begin, make sure that this valuable wisdom spreads to more people through your insight. Each time you hit the subscribe button, like, or comment, you contribute even more value to our community. Now, let's embark on this journey together. Heraclitus, one of the great sages of ancient Greece, once said, "There is only one way to become wise, and that is to direct one's attention toward one's own intellect, the guide to all other things." A seemingly simple statement yet deeply philosophical about how humans operate in this world. Wisdom isn't something we're short of. It's always there, within us, like a loyal guide ready to lead the way. But the issue is whether we truly listen to it or let it fall silent, overwhelmed by sudden emotions, waves of instincts, and reflexes we never fully control. We often blame circumstances, others, and fate, but in truth, we always have a choice. The choice between thoughtful consideration and impulsive actions. The choice between letting wisdom lead the way or succumbing to emotion and instinct. A wrong decision isn't typically due to a lack of knowledge, but often because we did not utilize our knowledge when needed. Imagine, you are in a heated debate. Emotions run high, and you want to immediately counter with sharp words, to prove you're right. But just a second after speaking, you realize that's not what you truly wanted to say. You may be right, but you hurt someone. You may win the argument, but lose a relationship. Just a moment's pause, to think, to let wisdom speak. And things might have been different. But you didn't. In business, a hasty decision can cost millions, and a contract rejected due to a moment's lapse. In life, a rash act can destroy what you've spent years building. In love, a word in anger can create an irreparable rift. These all lead to one regret: if only I had thought a bit more before acting. Imagine you are Odysseus in Homer's Odyssey. On his journey back home, Odysseus faces numerous challenges, monsters, temptations, storms. But the greatest challenge is not the external dangers, but the ability to control oneself. When his ship approaches the island of the Sirens, creatures whose enchanting songs could lead sailors to dive overboard and drown, Odysseus doesn't react instinctively or act in a trance. He employs wisdom, ordering his crew to plug their ears with beeswax and tying himself to the mast, allowing himself to hear the song but not lose his path. This story is not just a myth, but a lesson in the wisdom of self-control. Odysseus' intellect not only helped him survive, but also to achieve his goals. However, in today's world, the sirens no longer take the shape of mythical creatures. Instead, they appear in provocative social media posts, impulsive shopping urges, and ill-considered decisions due to external pressures. Will we be swept along by their call, or can we tie ourselves to the mast of reason? the traps leading to thoughtless actions. Why do we often act impulsively and regret it later? This can be explained from three main aspects. 1. Emotions override reason. Marcus Aurelius, the great philosopher-emperor of Stoicism, wrote in Meditations, "Whatever is outside your mind cannot harm you. It is your interpretation that can." In reality, most of our wrong actions are not due to circumstances, but because we let emotions lead. When angry, we speak harsh words. In fear, we make hasty decisions. When ambition clouds reason, we take unjustified risks. 2. Instinct-driven actions without thought. Epictetus taught his pupils, if you wish to control your life, then first learn to control your thinking. Despite thousands of years of evolution, humans still carry primal instincts, rapid reflexes, immediate actions without thought. In ancient times, such instincts helped our ancestors survive and avoid predators and dangers. But in the modern world, it becomes a trap. A negative comment from a boss could provoke an impulsive angry reaction, jeopardizing a promotion. A moment of weakness might lead to extravagant spending followed by regret. 3. Influenced by external circumstances and others' pressure. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, reminded us, if you do not control your mind, others will control it for you. Modern society has an abundance of pressures, from media, from peers, and from the invisible expectations we place on ourselves. We act to please others, to follow trends, or to avoid being left behind. Yet only when we're exhausted do we realize that we never truly thought about what we genuinely want. Applying Stoicism, how to think before acting. 1. Create a pause before important decisions. Today's world urges us to respond rapidly. News, social media, work, everything demands instant reactions. But the faster we act, the more prone to mistakes we become. Wisdom lies not in speed, but in the ability to deliberate. Consider Marcus Aurelius. Not only was he a philosopher, but also a Roman emperor making vital decisions during wartime. Yet even amidst battles, he did not rush orders. He took the time to ponder, consider possibilities, listen to advisors, and question. Is this the right course of action? We can emulate him by applying a simple principle: never make decisions when angry, fearful, or overly excited. Before saying something important, count from 1 to 10. Before replying to a negative email, let it sit overnight. Before seizing a big opportunity, give yourself at least a day to think. Time to ponder acts as a safeguard against mistakes. 2. Observe emotions instead of being controlled by them. Seneca famously said, "We suffer not because of events, but from how we react to them." Can you control your emotions? While you can't prevent emotions from arising, you can control your response to them. Imagine driving when suddenly another driver cuts in front of you. Anger flares. Adrenaline surges, you want to honk, scream, even speed up in retaliation. But if you were a Stoic philosopher, what would you do? You would pause and ask, "This is anger. But is it necessary? Did the other person mean to harm me, or was it unintentional? Do I need to react right now?" By detaching from emotions and observing them instead of being swept away, you realize they lack power over you. Emotions are merely biological reactions. You can either let them pass or let them dictate your actions. The choice is yours. 3. Develop the habit of writing down your thoughts. The human mind is a labyrinth of thoughts, and sometimes they conflict with each other. One way to clarify your mind is to write down what you think. Seneca maintained a daily journal, not to record events, but to have a dialogue with himself. He asked questions like, "Did I act rightly today? Did I do anything I shouldn't have? How can I be better tomorrow than today? Writing forces you to think deeply, confront weaknesses, and find solutions. Try keeping a daily journal or simply jotting down major decisions before making them. In retrospect, you will find yourself much wiser. 4. Consider the long-term consequences of each action. Decisions often arise from immediate emotions without regard for long-term consequences. But a Stoic philosopher never does that. Before acting, ask yourself, how will this action affect me in a year? Will it matter in 5 years? If I was 60 looking back, how would I assess this decision? Long-term thinking helps prevent regrettable mistakes. An angry word can ruin a relationship. A faulty financial choice can lead to debt. But by contemplating the current action's impact on the future, you choose the right path more easily. 5. Learn the art of silence and listening. Stoics believe that wisdom isn't in speaking much, but in knowing when to speak and when to be silent. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "True power lies in self-control." Do you need to react immediately when insulted or criticized? Do you feel the urge to express an opinion when uncertain? The answer is no. Observe great leaders. They aren't the ones speaking the most in a room. They listen, they observe, and only speak when necessary. Silence isn't a sign of weakness, but an expression of wisdom. Next time, when someone says something unpleasant to you, try staying silent. Don't react straight away. Let them finish, think, and then decide if a response is needed. You'll notice that in 90% of cases, not reacting instantly helps you manage the situation more effectively. Wisdom doesn't just come from knowing a lot, but from applying what we know in real life. We all have wisdom, but not everyone knows how to use it at the right time. The difference between a wise person and someone who frequently errs doesn't hinge on intelligence, but on how they exercise self-control, think before acting. When facing crucial decisions for the Roman Empire, Marcus Aurelius always asked, "Am I acting according to reason or emotion?" He understood that only by letting wisdom. Train yourself to cultivate calmness, because that is the ultimate strength. And if you agree that emotional control is the key to true power, start practicing today. I'd love to hear about your journey. If you don't know what to say, just type "think before you act" to show you made it to the end. Your engagement fuels our community, helping us grow in wisdom, understanding, and, above all, the ability to turn every challenge into an opportunity.